All right, let's see if we have audio. All right, let's see if we have. Man, that's how much difference there is in between the stream. All right, let's do a little financial advice. How about that? Live from Cabot, Arkansas, it is. What is today? It is May the 18th, and it is Saturday afternoon. Right, and so this is my, sorry about the delay there. If you scroll down, if you're interested in more financial content from me, if you scroll down on my channel, youtube.com/coachstevemoney, you will see the past live streams, which most of those will be financial, including, and there's also the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. And that, of course, is me with Ramsey Solutions Certified Coach Steve Money. And as you can see, this episode is number 90 of those. So there's been a lot into the music playlist, which I'll get back to in a second. And right below that, the Ramsey Show After Show, which we do have. I know the dates of the next 4, and those are in the ticker below, but I'll say those momentarily. Here also in between those two, the music playlist, and there are, I think, 9 now Ramsey adjacent songs in there, so check those out. Singing is not my regular job, but it is fun for me, and so those songs are fun, and they're based on other songs, for example, and I guess that's why we all watch Rachel Cruz, for good advice that we learned in her youth, that she learned in her youth. And so, you know, that's Elton John's, I guess that's why they call it the blues. And so, yeah, I steal the music from other artists. And if you listen to that, then they get half of it and I get half of it. And that's a fair trade, I think, don't you? Didn't used to be like that. Before I got monetized, they got all of it. So lucky them. Alrighty, let's get into the questions. Let's see, did that one last Sunday, I mean, from Suitable Studio. It's like Phil Collins, Studio. 3090. Starting from 0, do we need to modify the steps? No, you don't ever modify them. I mean, the only examples would be like if you don't have kids, you can skip step 5. And this is the way to go, absolutely. If you don't ever have debt, then you can skip step 2, and that would be the greatest thing in the world. That would put you way ahead of the game. But let's see what this situation is, where they think they need to modify the steps. Everybody wants to try to improve the steps. Let's scroll and get those steps right there again. There we go. Starting from 0, do we need to modify the steps? Husband and I are both in our early 30s, been a stay-at-home mom over 5 years. One kid's a toddler, the other's school-aged. I do work part-time as well. My husband recently got a new sales job, and he's currently at the beginning of a ramp-up period for 4 months. And once that time is over, it's 100% commission. Okay, we've never been in a great spot financially, so we're really starting with step 1. All right, you start with step 0 first, actually, and so the missing baby steps, step 0 and step 3B, that's when you save a down payment for a house. And I'll be doing a forthcoming, maybe this weekend, I'll do a forthcoming video on that as well. And so you actually need to start from step 0, just like you said. And that's one of the things on that is where the most important thing, especially for couples, is you have to be on the same page as your spouse. That is step 0. Even if you have to compromise and don't do it exactly like Dave says to do it, if your marriage is worth saving, then you compromised. Let's see. Where were we? Ramp up 100% commission. Never integrate. Since our income will be variable in 4 months, once we get step 1 done, would it be better to skip 2 and go straight to 3 to make sure we have enough savings once his ramp up time is over? And if we have extra income to put it towards debt, more or less switch steps 2 and 3. And that's going to be a negative on that. I'm picking up more hours at my job. Great. He's thinking getting a serving job 1 to 2 nights a week as well to help save up. Great. That's all good stuff. We do have a family wedding out of state in the fall. That will be an expense. Anyway, you can skip that. On step 2, that's a thing like that we would strongly recommend for you that the person, the spouse that is in that family, or maybe even in that family wedding, because they are in that family, that spouse goes by themselves. That way you don't have to load up kids and so forth, and it costs way, way, way more money than that. One spouse goes by themselves in steps 2 and 3. Now, once you're out of step 3, then you can just put that kind of thing in your budget, but that's a lot of money involved, and so that wouldn't be something we would suggest that you skip if you are not on that side of the family or you are a child. If you want to go see those people later after you're out of step 3, then you can do that. But, I mean, you can't be, especially if you're worried about, you can't do 2 things at once. You can't be worried about how you're going to pay bills if you're only on commission and you don't have a good month, and then also say, well, we're going to spend all this money on a family wedding. That's being intellectually dishonest with yourself. Illogical, Captain. So let's see, where were we? Okay, we have about $94,000 left on our mortgage. Okay, 94.5K on a car, a little under 49K in student loans. All federal interest rates range from 3.5 to 6.8. Doesn't matter. Okay, so if you have a commission sales job, you could have really good months and really bad months, and so what you need to do is you don't have extra emergency fund. You have a specific fund for that, which is called a Hill and Valley Fund. And that is there to provide when you have a really bad month, that has money in it from when you had really good months. Now that's what you got to do. You got to make sure that's funded before you start putting extra on debt or start putting extra things in your budget, like family weddings and so forth. And so it's more important to have the Hill and Valley Fund. And so, definitely make sure you're being, again, honest with yourself, and you're just not trying to find a way to have more emergency fund than $1,000. But definitely commission is a valid thing where you may have slow months. And, if it's a really big problem, then maybe you need to get a different kind of job, and they're already both either working 2 jobs or they're going to get looking into it. But yeah, that's what you should do on that. It's called a Hill and Valley Fund, and you don't want to go overboard on that either, because that's going to make the baby steps take longer for you if you do that, as well as if you take the whole tribe to the wedding in the fall. Again, we highly suggest that just the person in the family go, and you guys can have a nice visit out of state once you're out of baby step 3 in a better position financially. Okay, but the answer for that is Hill and Valley Fund, not really modifying the steps, because they talk about that all the time. Right. Did I close the wrong thing, or did I open it twice? Let's see. There we go. Even way, 1779. Debt is more than double income, doubling it. But yeah, that's rough. Do not want to file bankruptcy. Well, you don't have to. Even if they call you to court, you can still work out some kind of settlement with everybody. So that's what you do. You work your butt off to work out a settlement and a payment plan with everybody that you can do. And then hopefully you may have a situation where, and see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I always talk about. Okay, they make 150K a year, and people, oh, I can't relate to that. I can't relate to that. Well, they also can't relate. They have 330K in debt. They can't relate to your 50K in debt either. And so, you can't say, oh, well, I wouldn't have any problem if I made 150K a year, and they could say right back, well, I wouldn't have any problem if I only had 50K in debt. So that's ridiculous. So you can't do that. That's, again, being intellectually dishonest with yourself about how life works. So yeah, you can't do, that's that's where you're being like two-faced there. You're only doing it when, you can't be jealous of somebody's income unless you're willing to take on their debt too, because the higher earners generally have just as much debt to income ratio as you do. Normally they have more, such in this person's case. And so, yeah, you don't have to file bankruptcy. You need to get with those creditors and work out a payment plan with them. So, and they want to do that more than you have you file bankruptcy as well. Let's see, how does your personality influence your financial habits? Well, sometimes that makes you address it with snark, like our good Mr. Camel on the Ramsey show. But I wouldn't say personality so much. But okay, so personality might come in here. Well, again, that's really not personality. I don't know, it might be, but like if you're a social animal, meaning you have to be around people all the time, and the people you choose to be around all the time end up wanting to go out every weekend and spending $100 on dinner, on appetizers, on whatever thing you're doing, that could be it. But as far as personality, again, it's not personality, but in general, and this is not 100% true, but in general, I'm very logical. And I embrace reality most of the time. There are always slip-ups. Sometimes emotion just comes in there and rules the day. It's like Spock, where you have the human half and the Vulcan half, and so he's mostly logical, but every so often some emotions will just come in there and just give him problems. And I'm no different on that. I have made dumb, emotional, financial decisions before, and very recently as well. Fortunately, never, not as far as debt wise, not out of debt, but just on some spending and other decisions were emotional. Let's see. It seems our financial decisions aren't just about the strategies we employ, but also deeply connected to who we are as individuals. Yeah, because that's gonna affect decisions. Sure. Do you find that your personality dictates whether you're more of a saver, spender, or perhaps an investor? Yeah. Again, I don't know that personality is quite the right word for it, but it is how you decide things, and it is about what's important to you. And so once you start down this path, saving becomes more important to you, even if you are a spender. Let's see. How does this align with financial habits we talked about previously? Whoa, given a course here. Financial habits we talked about previously. What do you mean? just about this financial decisions aren't okay. All right, well, let's open, yeah, in a new tab. That's what we want to do. Like we talked about earlier, the TED Talk from this person. Where was the earlier? Talked about previously. That's what it was. I was looking for a long way. How does this align with financial habits we talked about previously? I feel like this is a workbook, and we got to fill out paper after this. I'm getting nervous about that. For instance, if you defined a habit that works well for you, do you think it aligns with your financial personality? I would think most times yes. Or even if it doesn't match with what you're seeing financial personality, and again, I would probably say that's the wrong word for it. Because you can have a personality and then do things financially that don't necessarily match that personality. So it's basically about your decision making, and personality may affect that some, but there's more like mental stuff as well here, like your wants and needs and that kind of thing would be more so into that. So I don't know, I can't think of the exact right word for that I would want to use, but I wouldn't choose personality. Let's see, eager to hear how your personal inclinations influence your approach to managing finances. Let's dig deeper into how our unique personalities guide our financial decisions. 18 comments. I hope this is Mike Long, with a lot of G's there, and I hope he got some good comments to his TED Talk there. And okay, no matter what your personality is, the baby steps are still going to be the advice. So, this doesn't matter. This gives you, it's interesting to think about. And as far as the Dave Ramsey's financial advice being 80% behavior and 20% ed knowledge, it definitely is involved in there. But no matter what any of this is, you would still do the baby steps in the same order. And so it doesn't really change anything except maybe helps you understand some things. It's possible. But yeah, this starts to get into, it's interesting to talk about, and, especially when you talk about the behavior, definitely need to be aware of that. But this gets in the realm of like mental and so forth theory and stuff like that. I don't even like financial theory. I think it's very boring. Like I said, I'm logical and I embrace the reality almost all the time. And so with this, it's like the reality is no matter what any of this is, no matter what we come out of this discussion, having learned or not learned, it's still, the advice is still to do the baby steps in order and follow all of Mr. Ramsey's advice. Thank you so much for watching. Uncle Herniation 812. That doesn't sound fun at all. Don't know where to begin. Hello everyone. Hi guys. First time posting. Not first time hosting, although it might seem like it. Still trying to figure out my financial life, and I'm relatively just starting out as well. 28-year-old, married with one toddler. I'm in medicine, finishing up residency, and about to start fellowship. And seeing the light at the end of the training tunnel is making me start looking at my finances. Well, about time, but better late than never. Basically, you look at the finance before you do any of that. Let's see. Breakdown. It's a Tom Petty song. As we open the entire thing, because it's War and Peace, not that long. We'll deal with it. Light of tunnel, making me start looking at breakdown. 80K a year, student debt, 430K total. It's a medicine, finishing up residency, and that does take a bite. Theoretically, you would try grants, scholarships, or pledge your services to a medical facility and let them pay for it. or you cash flow it. The student debt is never going to be advised, but he has it already, so you have to start there. That's for those of you who haven't taken out 430K total. And I get it. A lot of people will say, oh, well, that's going to be he's going to make 150 a year eventually. He's going to make 200K a year eventually. Yeah, if he graduates, if he finishes everything, if he does okay on the boards, etc., whatever they have to do for that. 7% interest car loans, 35K. All right, so if you have car loans, so at this point you start thinking about what you can get rid of, that you can try to get rid of by selling the thing instead of paying it off. And so if you have like one car that is much more has much more owed on it than the other one, then maybe you sell that car and you get another one if you even need one. Maybe you can have just one car, be a one-car family, just for a hashtag season. Makes a ton of difference. Let's see, mortgage, 109K at $1,000 a month. $1,000 isn't crazy. And that should be fine on 80. The problem is the car loans and the student debt, obviously. Investments, brokerage account worth $200,000. You would pull that out and put that all on debt. You have $1,000 in savings. So that's good that you have that. And you're trying. I mean, this is all too normal, unfortunately. Oh, let me invest, but also have a bajillion dollars in debt on top of it. Let me invest and have an amount that is less than half of the debt that I have, and somehow you think you're winning with that. You will be once you take that out and put it into all this debt. So that's and that would take care of it. Then fine. Since you have that, I didn't know that before. You can take that 200K out, apply it to your debt. Your car debt is gone. So those payments are available immediately to pay the rest of that student loan debt, which there would still be about 400K, like 395K would be left on that. After you paid off the cars, so you'd have 395K left, and then without car payments, that would go faster as well. So wife doesn't currently work because I work 80 to 90 hours a week. Okay, maybe she can find something to do at the house while the toddler is sleeping. Did they say toddler on this one? Toddler, yes. So toddler, while the toddler, she can do something at the house. She's doing it now by taking care of everything there, certainly during those 80, 90 hours a week. But maybe there's something else that she can bring a little bit more cash in to make this go faster. We're in a relatively unique situation. That's what everybody thinks. We're moving for my fellowship and selling our house. Yeah, still not. I mean, that happens with doctors all the time, or soon-to-be doctors. We are fortunate enough to be moving back near our family and have a house that we can live in for free. All right, except for some minimal utility costs. Okay, great. Not necessarily advised, but that will save up that will give you another $1,000 to put against the student loan debt. Fellowship is 3 years long. Salary will start at 82K and increase by 4K each year. After 3 years, my salary will go to 425K to 450K. Okay, so did I lowball it? Other than before that, so but again, that's a lot of years, dog. That's 3 years. So you got to make it through that program for 3 years, which some people burn out. Some people cannot do it. And so that is a lot of debt to end up being not able to do it. And nobody considers that when they're signing for those loans. Nobody says, oh, I might not get through it. Or sometimes you have a female that does that kind of thing, and then she says, oh, I want to stay home with my baby, but has $400,000 of student loans. And so you got to think ahead. let's see, at a point where just don't know how to plan financially. We know the area well. I'm getting rid of your brokerage fund, and so that gets rid of your car debt. And so all you have is the student loan debt, and you just put every bit of money on it. You keep your expenses as low as you can. So let's see, we know the area we want to live after my fellowship. So planning everything out. And this is the problem with the plan obsessed people. They lay everything out so far in advance, and you have no idea any of that is going to happen. Let's see. One thought is to take the opportunity of no housing costs to buy land where we want. You would. Where does it say while you're on baby step 2 to buy some freaking land? It does not say that, sir. So nope, that would be doing it wrong. Even more than you're already doing it wrong by having $200,000 in a brokerage account while you have debt. That is wrong as well. It doesn't say in baby step 2, it doesn't say invest while you still pay off debt. It does not say that. Investing doesn't start until baby step 3 is done, which is your full emergency fund. Steps 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time, before moving ahead, so you're not investing until you get to step 4. All right, so you're doing it wrong, definitely. But that just doesn't feel like the smartest move, and that is a reason it doesn't feel like it, because it's not. Good inclination there. My wife is worried we'll end up paying much more for the property we want in 3 to 4 years, though. Tough. If you pay off the student loans, that $425K to $450K you make a year will be able to cover any growth on the real estate market. So there you go. But I also wouldn't really be able to make much progress on my loans with my salary the next 3 years. Right, and that's why it's dumb to do that. I do fully plan to work for 1 year after fellowship at the same place to take a $430K-ish salary within a year of minimal living, with a year of minimal living costs, and pay heavily towards the loans. Okay, that's great. So just looking for any advice. Thanks. An update. I decided to sell off enough stock to pay off every debt I have except for my main federal student loans. How? Oh, I see. So, okay, so he would, that way I guess would still be left because he doesn't have enough to cover everything. So great. People told him to do that. Great. Sometimes you do get the Ramsey advice in the comments. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get the ish advice. Sometimes worse than that. Feels like the biggest relief I've had in a while. Around $80K of debt, including 2 car payments and a $30K private student loan. Okay. Freed up $1,500 a month for me. Now we're going to say, once I finish training and get my larger salary, we're going to pay off the federal loan. Okay, so it doesn't sound like he's taking out the entire $200K, which would be the advice. So still doing it wrong, but better. You can't build, what is it? Can't build Rome in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. So maybe he'll get around to that eventually when he figures, if it works for a little bit of this, if it's okay, if it's right to do it for a little bit of this, why isn't it right to pay off the whole thing? Why is it right to keep a little bit or any amount in the brokerage if the right thing to do was to take out enough to pay off the cars and some of the student loans? Concerned about my future from Popular Great 93. Grapes are fun. Hi everyone. Hi guys. I recently lost my job ×2 in a tech. Okay. And I'm struggling to figure out my next move. Well, you would get another job is what you would do. Life is pretty upside down right now. Okay. You lose a job, you get another one. Is how it works no matter what else is going on in your life. I'm 31, man who's single, nearly broke, only have about $9K in saving, driving a Language, car. Never had a girlfriend and been dealing with herniated disc for several months. That is not fun at all. I will be the first to admit that I struggle with motivation and consistency due to ADHD, which in return, has more than likely contributed to my job performance positively. She may need some help with that ADHD, but I mean, you can do sit-down jobs. Hopefully, sitting down isn't painful with the herniated disc. Of course, being alive with a herniated disc might be painful. But unfortunately, to make your life work and the steps work, that does require income. I'm not sure if I should even remain in my field, low-level IT, anymore, or move to something else. Just kind of all over the place, which that can happen when you have negative things happen to you. I acknowledge I kind of wasted my 20s. Well, who among us didn't, really? With delayed college and poor long-term decision making, life is suffering, and we all try to do our best, right? And you got to keep trying to do that. I want to succeed here and make myself proud along with my family. Okay, I just can't formulate an ideal course of action. Well, that's going to be to get another job and do the baby steps. Is what that is. And outside of the financial stuff, that would be addressing your herniated disc and the ADHD. Especially when my health is somewhat compromised right now. I've lost my good health insurance and might need to get surgery. Basically, I know my trajectory is pretty bleak unless I'm able to make a big turnaround. If you were wondering what my current debts are, just looks like $25K in student loan and then another $5,100 on top of that. So like $31,000. And so, yeah, so that's going to take, but you got to get another job. You got to find something you can do with your ADHD and herniated disc. If you need surgery, you got to get surgery. And so work out a payment plan with the medical facility for that. Alrighty, let's see. Sheldon, 1990. Young Sheldon, I believe, is over now after 7 years. That the Big Bang Theory spinoff. Pay off mortgage earlier delay 1 year. Well, so you see, they have right here, they have the baby steps, and it says step 4, invest 15% gross income. Step 5, save for kid college. Step 6, pay off your mortgage early. It doesn't say, or wait a year for some crappy reason that you are thinking about. But let's see if he can persuade me. This November, my mortgage term is ending. Great. The balance remaining will be $25K plus. Great. Pay it off early. We purchased the house 10 years ago. To avoid having to renew a mortgage at the higher rate, why would you at 25? By the time you're in that position, you should be able to pay that $25K off by the time. So that's November. So we're looking at 6 months. You got 6 months to save off $25K, or that's what it will be. Yeah, so additional $25K. You got 6 months to do that. Come on. Okay, so the percentage, we don't give a rat's behind about that. The rates, doesn't matter. It's pay the mortgage off. It doesn't say anything about unless the rate is blah, 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 and this is blah, blah, blah. It doesn't say that. I'm considering paying off the balance in November. Yes, do that. The caveat is I will need to use our 3 to 6. No, you don't. No, you won't, which could leave me exposed for a few months. No, you don't. That would be an emergency fund, and paying off your mortgage isn't an emergency. You save up that money in the next 6 months. Don't be dumb. You can cut expenses and save that. I do expect some cash flow coming in early December from a side business that I could use in an emergency. Now, alternative, I could renew for 1 year. Should I pay it off or extend? You should pay it off by saving up the money before that. People are, whoops, so dumb. So dumb. In January 2023, I balanced with 95K. My wife and I set a goal of paying out the house over 10 years. Great. Seemed so unrealistic at the time, but we are so close. Yeah, exactly. 33 married, 2 kids, 7 and 12. Household take home 10K a month. Cut out some freaking expenses and save up that 25K over the next 6 months. So that's going to be what, 4,000 a month? Do that. Sell some stuff. Work extra. Do whatever you got to do to be able to do that. Did I open that? I opened that in a new window, didn't I? I think I did. Hit the wrong button. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Oh, I opened. How did I do? Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. Alrighty, 40 in finances. There's a 40-year-old question about finances. I'm assuming the person is 40. The question, not 40. Where I'm at on track. I feel way behind and never ending. What is that? How does that song go? All the things to get and keep getting. Never enough and never ending. Something like that. Letters to Cleo. 90s. I feel way behind and never ending. Feel free to share wisdom, experiences, and advice. What's the question? I'm wanting strangers on the internet's input. Okay, great. I'm a stranger to you. 150K in consumer debt. Okay. Looking for the question. 120K debt was paid for by earnings. Okay, great. And the last 30K was student loan forgiven by government. Okay, that leaves me only with mortgage. I have about 350K on, but it's worth at least. Open link in new tab. Let's do that correctly this time. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. At least 500K. Okay, great. Income is very high, but it was quite recent. Okay, well, now you fix whatever is wrong, but if you don't have any other debt, then it should be easy to pay that house off early, just like the baby steps say to do. Income's very high. Electrical engineer that manages a group. I went from making 100K base to about 120K a year. Okay. Yes, I'm working a crap ton of overtime. Great, but all my overtime is from home remote, so I don't complain. Okay. Yeah, don't. That helps you pay off the house. What has me stressing is saving/investing. Right now, I've gotten us an emergency fund of about 30K, and my 401 IRA is 150K. I'm currently maxing out. Okay. I don't put money into an IRA because I can't backdoor Roth yet, okay? I am also not putting money into a brokerage yet because you should be doing 15%. If you're not already doing that, maxing out the 401k and HSA, you should be doing at least 15% while you're paying off the house early. I'm on pace to make the same as I did last year, possibly a little higher. It's Lando from Return of the Jedi. I guess after a long enough period of time, it really hurts to save up a large chunk of cash and watch it go away. And I can't even imagine, dream, or comprehend if I was debt free and got to keep it. Or yeah, exactly. But you don't save it and then watch it go away. You don't do that. You put it on debt or into savings, in investing. Immediately. You don't save a huge chunk and then pay off something, or save a huge chunk and then invest it. You invest it as you have it, and you make more, and you pay it off as soon as you have it, and then you pay less interest. So if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong, unless I'm misunderstanding or he mischaracterized it. Any wisdom from someone who's been down this path before, just so others can tell me to invest my money and not pay off my house? My mortgage rate is 4%. So you know they're going to tell you that, but you would invest 15%. See, it's right here for you. And so, oh, my special situation is unique, and so I just can't look at the baby steps and figure out what I need to do. False. Most of the time, you can do that. You just don't want to. I do have that problem, though, that I know owning my home would give me better mental health than to have more money. And that's going to help you as far as retiring as well if you don't have rent or mortgage payment, right? Yes. So that's why you invest 15%, so you do have retirement. But you also pay the house early. 4, 5, and 6 happen at the same time as stated previously. I do have the problem. Oh, I do that. Better mental health. Then to have more money by putting in a brokerage, gaining 10% a year. Okay, so if you don't make enough, how much did he make? How much did he say he made? 170K base. Is that the? I don't know what the max is for Roth, but if you're not at the max for Roth, you can just do a regular Roth IRA. So, and if not, you do put it into a brokerage account in a non-tax advantaged, a non-retirement plan if you need to do that to get up to the 15% while you're still paying your house off. That is the steps, and that is the way you do it. So you don't even have to be confused about it. Dave has figured it all out for you. You just have to read the baby steps. Maybe listen to some shows to pick up on the fact that, the stuff that it doesn't say, like steps 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time in order, and steps 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time in order. But you do have to be doing that at least 15%. And he did not say what he was doing as far as that was concerned, if that was meeting that or not. Should we throw everything we have at our down payment or keep some invested? You can if it's not in a retirement account. If it's in a retirement account, it's too much penalty to do that. Fiance and I are trying to purchase our first home. I was gifted an investment account that has $95,000 in it. We also have $20,000 of our own money and save that. We're holding in a high yield savings account as an emergency fund. Okay, so the emergency fund is not part of the down payment for sure. We found a house that is well within our budget, but it's definitely not a forever home. After a 20% down payment and closing my costs, we would have about $15,000 left in the investment account. Should we go ahead and throw that money at the down payment or leave it invested and put towards our forever home one day? We have no other debt, and baby step 6. So yeah, you would do that. The only thing would be is that if it's a retirement account and if you were gifted it, then no, it would not be a retirement account. I don't think you would have to have that like left to you in somebody's will, that kind of thing. You have to be the beneficiary on that. So I'm going to assume it's not. I'm just going to assume it's just a brokerage account, and that's quite a gift. $95K, that's nothing to sneeze at. I hope you said thank you. And so yeah, you can use that to buy a house with, to help make the down payment larger. Absolutely. No landscape, 1438. CD or high yield savings account for short-term growth. Hey y'all, hi guys. I'm trying to aggressively grow my extra savings for about 2 years to make a dream purchase. Saw a video about high yield savings account with George and Rachel, and they suggested Goldman Sachs. Okay. Their savings account makes 4.4% annually. Okay, which I was on board with, but then I saw their CDs and it said 4.7% for 7 months. Okay, the 0.3% is not life or death. Okay, chasing percentages now. Is it better to just put it in the CD over and over for 20 months over the high yield savings account? extra savings. So before you can do extra savings, guess what? You're in step 7. So if you're not in step 7, you apply that money instead of having extra savings. Oh, it says baby step 7. Okay, everything else taken care of. Okay, so should have led with that. Let's see, which I was on. Okay, right. So on step 7, I'm not gonna be too worried about a 0.3% difference. So especially the CDs are locked in. Savings account, high yield savings account, they may have stipulations on it as far as how often you can make withdrawals on it and a minimum amount and such. The CDs are locked in, so you cannot get that money out without penalty. So that would be the reason to avoid a CD. Baby step 7 and everything else taken care of. Will not need that money, just need it to grow for about 1.5 to 2 years. Over 21 months would be 24 months is 2 years. So, okay. What would Dave do on that? He wouldn't chase 0.3%, I'm sure. But, I mean, if you're definitely not going to need it and you're sure you're not going to need it during the time specified on the CD that you sign when you give them the money, then sure, go ahead. Cold to consumer. Everyone that calls in makes so much money, and so here's some more of this crap. I try to listen and relate to the caller so I have a better understanding on my position and where to go, but it seems everyone who calls in makes so much money. They also have more debt than you. Almost always. They have the same ratio, the same percentage of debt that you do to your income. Or they have more, which is most likely. I make roughly $45K a year, but every caller here makes at least $70K a year, so my situation can't compare to them. Wah! Quit whining, people. Gosh, man. They also have way more debt than you do. So you can't see, it's intellectually dishonest for you to apply their income to your life, but not apply their debt to your life. You got to look at the whole picture with them. They make money, they have a job, so do you. They make more, doesn't matter. They have higher debt than you, you have lower debt, doesn't matter. That's better for you, but that also doesn't matter. So you both make money and you both have debt, and $1 debt is more than you should have. So, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you on that. Make more money if you're jealous of it. Instead of whining about it is not going to fix the situation at all. Whining never works. Mud Creek steps to retirement investing. Can someone point me in the direction to the chart of which sequence of retirement investing I should do first? What? I've seen the chart and people say it, but I can't find it. The steps on which accounts of fund for 401k to match. Oh, yeah, match. Which accounts? Okay, the match is going to be, 401k to match. You just did the chart. Oh, it's just an example of what it is I'm looking for. That is not the chart you're looking for, because that's not what it is. So, assuming you're on baby step 4, when you're supposed to do investing, you're supposed to do 15% of gross. And so here is the order. It is your 401k, which can also be a Roth 401k if your employer has that. But in this case, let's assume they don't. Well, first let's assume they do have the Roth IRA. And so you can put all your 15% into that Roth IRA. And then for the match on a Roth 401k, they cannot put that in the Roth 401k by law. So you also have to have a regular 401k, traditional 401k, for the employer to put the match amount in, because it's illegal for them to put that in the Roth, Roth 401k. But let's go to, like I said, first thing. Let's assume that they don't offer the Roth 401k, and you're just doing traditional 401k. So yes, you would do up to the match amount first, and the reason because of that is the highest return on investment. That's 100%. That's what match means. 100% return on investment right there. Like you put in X amount and then you get X amount, and they try to make it difficult and say, we'll do 2% of the first 4% or something like that. And so it all equals up to a percent that they could actually tell you what the actual percent is, but they like to make it difficult. So for that amount, it would be match first, always, because that's 100%. Again, the next best thing is a Roth account, whether that be Roth 401k or Roth IRA, because in that you get tax-free growth. And if you have any appreciable time in the market, the amount of growth is going to far exceed the amount of contributions. And so you would want to pay the tax on the amount of contributions instead of the growth of it. That will save you a lot more money. So that's why Roth is next. And then you would go back into the 401k if you haven't gotten up to the 15% yet. You would go back into the 401k with anything remaining, the traditional 401k, in order to hit that 15%. And if you still haven't hit that 15% of your income, you're making a lot of money. So congratulations. Then at that time is when you would start to be looking for other tricks like a health savings account, which you can, because that you can have an investment component in that. And so, and you can do that, and you can leave it there. That's fine. All you have to do is have a high deductible insurance policy. And then in this example, if you're trying to use that for investing, then you would just cash flow your things that you would put, that you would pay for with the health savings account. You would just cash flow it and let the investing ride. So yeah, that is the chart you're looking for. So again, we got match first, Roth, traditional, which is the non-Roth 401k, and then back to traditional, and then other alternatives like HSA. Alrighty. Switching careers and struggling morally. Trucker Brandon says, "Hey guys, hi guys. I think this is the perfect sub to post this, and since many of you can relate with Dave's morals." Okay, great. Currently a truck driver, and it's not terrible. Great money to be made, but I want to jump out of my comfort zone once again and go into sales and learn how to speak. Something I always struggled with. Me too. People who watch my videos can tell you that. I bought a sales course and didn't realize at the time that it focused mainly on selling cars. Beep, beep, boo, doo. Oh, I had it. I have it here. I should have just done this instead. There we go. All right. Focused mainly on selling cars. And just like most of you, I agree car dealerships are the scum of the earth, but that's where my knowledge would be after I finish studying. Yeah, I would see if you can get a refund on that for sure. I would not sell cars, because you know that you're trying to get money out of the other person's pocket, and it's not just a situation normally. I won't say for everybody, but it's not a situation where normally you're just trying to get the money that this product costs. And depending on the dealership, they may have extra BS fees and stuff that they add in, to make the dealership and you more money. So I would not do that. I wouldn't do that. When I worked at Menards, I did not advise anybody to get their credit card. I can't remember if it was theirs or like a third. I think it was a third-party credit card. But yeah, I didn't advise anybody to do that. And if they would have told me that I had to, I wouldn't have worked there. And so, but that was no problem. Mike Long again. Oh yeah. So this guy, this is the theory guy, I think. Hello, David. Hey guys. As we often discuss tools and resources that can assist in financial management, I've been working on a project I hope might be of interest. There's a platform called Finance. Okay, so now that's interesting. Looking at soft line. That's interesting that they let him self-promote on here. Okay, I've asked them. They did let me put my. I did ask the mods first, but they did let me put my song. Which song was it? It was "That's What Gives Financial Peace." That's what gives financial peace. On here, so they did let me do that. But as far as I know, they didn't let me do that. What resources or tools do you wish you had access to when you started managing your finances? Okay, so he's looking for ideas on how to do his thing that he wants to do, his platform. So, all right. Maybe they gave him 57. Maybe they gave him some good things to do. Educational poem 5874. Financial advice, need help. Hi everyone. Hi guys. I'm a first year teacher and I started off earning $65K. Just finished my first year. I earn about $4,200 a month for 11 months out of the year. No pay in July. Our union got us a pay increase. Okay. And I will be earning $69K my second year. Great. Then once I clear my credential, after 2 years of induction, bump up on the pay scale. Okay, great. Okay. After emailing HR, I was told I wouldn't have to move again. It's Milton from Office Space. I was told I could start off my third year earning $92,000 with a master's degree, but I'm not earning $92,000. So I signed up for a fast-paced master's program that is set up to begin in July 2024 and end in July 25. How much did that cost? Let's see. Here's my dilemma. I'm 24 years old, just still a baby, and I've been very financially irresponsible my whole life. Let's say entire life. We don't like whole life here. Because I honestly did not know any better. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's, you're marketed debt constantly. I've been listening to Dave for the past month and downloaded the Every Dollar app after my expenses living in California. That's another issue. Defect to America. Move to America. Rent, car payment, car insurance, phone, gas, electricity, groceries, household items, gym membership. Gym membership not necessary. You can run outside. I have an extra $800 left over. I currently have debt of $1,040 on one credit card, of $4,000 on another credit card. Car loan $11,000 on a Toyota Corolla, originally $28,000. Payment $420 a month. That is killing you. I mean, yes, you can keep that, but you just have to buckle down and pay it, and you cut out the gym membership and any other extra thing you can. Household items that you don't actually need. Groceries that you don't actually need to stay alive. Phone, you can go down from over $100 to Mint Mobile. You can shop car insurance. You can sell the car and go down to a beater, very cheap car. Let's see. I know it might seem stupid to get myself into more debt. Yeah, no, that's Okay, so let's bring up the baby steps here. And it doesn't say this. This is part of baby step 0. It's where you decide you're not doing debt anymore. So it's not like, nowhere in here says, but if you have a really good reason, you can take out debt again and just start the baby steps all over again. No, it doesn't say that in here. Before you start them, you need to say no debt for anything except maybe a mortgage. Dave's advice is, of course, to pay cash for that. But he doesn't yell at you for getting a mortgage because then most people wouldn't have houses. And also, 99.9% of the time, your house is going to appreciate in value, not sink like a rock like the vehicle will. Oh, let's see. But I decided to finally get my S together, and getting that master's will significantly increase my pay. Every year I hold it off is basically losing money. You're also losing money with all your dumb debt as well. So if you're fine with that, you should be fine with this. I'm now tutoring after school, which will bring in $250 a month. I tried door dashing and didn't really get many orders, but my goal is at least $100 per month with that. I'm going to start uploading my worksheets on Teachers Pay. Teachers, but I can't count on that for income yet. Yeah, you can do whatever you can. The debt should not be an option. In total, I should have about $11.50 extra a month to start putting towards that debt. No, you put it towards the debt you have. You don't do the other thing. You wait and save up for that. You save up for the master's program. Here's where I'm having issues. Let's see. Oh, the baby step 1 will be done, and this, and this, and this, and this. Here's where I'm having issues determining what to do. The master's costs $13,000, and that's already with a 30% discount my district is offering. This loan will start accruing interest. Yep. As soon as I receive it at 7%. Yep. I don't have to pay until 6 months after I graduate, but as I mentioned, it begins. Yep. That's why you don't do it. So I want to pay it off ASAP. However, I wouldn't be able to start tackling it until December 2024. After I pay off those cards, I know everything will be okay now that I started budgeting. Not if you keep finding things to take out debt on. But I guess I feel I could be doing better. Does anyone have any suggestions on how to get rid of this debt faster? Yes, by not taking it out in the first place. Not married, but will be eloping in June. Can't afford a big wedding. Well, my fiance does not have any debt. He only has about $1,000 in saving. Also, and he's better off than you because he has no debt. We're long distance. He's in Belgium, and I am in the U.S. I don't think we'll be able to combine finances yet because of the different currency. All right, you can work that out. He will be paying for the cost of his green card. I'm not sure when we'll be able to live together, depending on the process. Once he comes to live. So this is like an entirely different thing than, and doesn't have anything to do with the master's program, which for a loan you should not do. I don't know if you are. You said you are new to Ramsey. Boom, boom, boom. Listen to Dave for the past month. So I'm sure in that time you have not heard him recommend debt to anybody. And I'm sure people have called up that you've listened to in the past month that think they're the exception for getting a loan. And there's not one. So again, Dave's stuff is so very easy. If you read their books, it's very, very easy to read. It's small words. You can easily understand it. You can read Total Money Makeover very, very quickly. It's just so easy. It's no debt. So there's not like a million different things. Well, if you're in this little situation, or if you're in this little situation, or if you decide you want to take out a little bit of debt, this is what you should do. No, the answer is no debt. Pay off the debt you have as fast as possible is how this works. So, and you're a teacher, you should be smart enough to know that. So that's going to be a no for me, dog. Financial advice is not to do the masters except when you can pay for it in cash on the barrelhead. All right, let's see. Oh, hey, it is 4 o'clock. How about we do some what's that called? Gratuitous plugs here. How about that? Let me go to my page again. YouTube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Upcoming streams will be answering your financial questions. That's this show. Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, we have some Ramsey Show after show shows coming up. And that will be Monday, May 27th, which is Memorial Day. And then that same week, Thursday, May 30th. And then the next two will be on Wednesday, June 19th. And a rare Friday off. I wonder what song I'll sing that day. And June 21st is that Friday. So, and you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. There's a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere. You can email me about anything at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, you can do Cash App to $CoachSteveMoney or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. And I already told the upcoming streams. Once again, if you're interested, or even if you're not interested, let's see, which song did I do there? The That's What Gives Financial Peace. And that one starts out like this. What is it? It starts out like Summer Lovin' from Greece. And, you know, do like that. And then it says, trying to remember the words. I haven't sung that one much. I see you stressed. I'm #blessed. Just like me, you can get out of this mess. That's how that one goes. I already did some Rachel Cruz song for you. George Camel is opened up YouTube, saw the thumbnail was camel. It's always fun with George on the panel. Ayo wore ASOS and Deloney wears flannel. No one does it better than our guy George Camel. Saving money now. A lifestyle creep. Instead be a weirdo. Why the heck are you in debt? Let's see the baby stepping, and that is am I missing that one? Oh no, there it is, the baby stepping song, and that's to Dua Lipa's Levitating. And so that's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. We're baby stepping. 1,000 fund, pay off debt, full fund, invest, kid college, pay off house, build wealth. We're baby stepping. Jade Warshaw song, debt fought Warshaw and Warshaw won, debt fought Warshaw and Warshaw won. And John Deloney, that is, he's got 2 PhDs, 2 more than me, plus he's got some other certs, John Deloney. And the original Baby Step song, I just stole the music from Ed Sheeran and the vocal stylings from Justin Bieber. And that goes, if you want to have financial peace, then you should do the baby steps. Alrighty, back to the questions. Thank you so much for indulging me with the gratuitous advertising, self-promotion there. Let's see. And so the full version's, of course, in that music playlist, if you're so inclined. And do keep in mind, singing, not my job. So, never said I was the best singer. If anybody would like to sing those songs better than I do, definitely do that. And I would be more than happy to play that on the Ramsey Show After Show show. Chillin', to be honest, 111, and definitely, to be honest, I don't know when the kids started saying the to be honest, the I guess humbleness. What is that when you put it in front of a qualifier or whatever with it, where every sentence starts with "to be honest" or "honestly." So when you say that, that makes me question whether you're being honest. If you would just say the thing and be sincere about it, I would think you're being honest regardless. Fresh graduate looking for advice on where to start paying off debt. Smallest to largest says right there. Give it your answer. Baby step 2. Now, first, you should have the $1,000 starter emergency fund from baby step 1. But step 2 is pay off all debts from smallest to largest, and it could not get simpler. So how can you not know that? If you're smart enough to figure out to find the Dave Ramsey subreddit, you probably have heard of the baby steps. But I don't know if they apply to me. Yes, they do. Apply to everybody. No exceptions. Just graduated this month and I'm still... People don't like that at all, though. They want to be an individual. They want to be a snowflake. They want their little situation to make them special. And it just doesn't. I graduated this month and still on the search for a job in this awful market. It's not awful market. I've been hit with the anxiety of debt already. Well, you should be. And that should be motivation to pay it off. Great. Just want to hear people's experiences. Don't whine about, don't take the excuse, well, it's an awful market. I can't get a job. Get a freaking job. And just want to, even one that you're not, where you think you're too good for. At least do that. If you're really having a problem getting a job in your field, then maybe you picked the wrong field. And so get a different job doing anything while you still look for a job in your field. And you can change to that job in your field as soon as you find it. Let's see. And just want to hear people's experiences and any advice you have on how to relieve the anxiety by getting a job and starting to pay it off. That's how you do it. But also where to start on repayment, since I honestly don't know much. I don't know much, but I know I love you. My family is more than willing to allow me to live at home without paying rent, even when I get a job, although I want to help with bills. I don't believe I will have much to pay. Dave likes adults. There we go. Oh, link in a new tab. Dave likes adults to live, not with parents. Where are we? I want to get my loans out of the way in max 2 years. Great. Hey, do it faster than that. How about that? I'm willing to sacrifice a lot to get my loans paid off. Okay, great. Work at McDonald's if you have to. While you're still looking a job, that will give you more money in your field. I understand you want one, but it doesn't happen like that by just wanting one. And if you picked a bad field, you should have thought about that before you picked that field and signed for the loans on it. People don't think about that stuff when they sign for those loans. I don't know what my estimated salary would be, but I'm aiming for $65K. So you don't know anything about your field? That would be the first thing to look. Before you sign up for this loan, you should at least be interested in what the pay is in that field. So a lot of stuff you're doing it wrong. You're just floating around from cloud to cloud and not worried about anything, except now you're worried about the debt. And so you should have been worried about the debt a long time ago and even not taking it out. And cash flowed college, scholarships, grants, worked to make the money to go to college. If this is possible, let me know. We don't know what your field is, dog. So we don't know. Can you make $65K in a year doing anything? Yes, people can do that. They can. Not by whining about the awful market, though. That's not going to make any money at all. All loans are federal, by the way. Interest ranging from I don't care. I do have a parent student loan in my dad's name, but I want to pay them off myself. The interest on those are a bit high, to believe, at 8 to 10%. Yeah, this is what you think about. You think about all this and the anxiety. You think about that before you sign for that. So everything you did is bad. Now you got to fix it. How hardcore do I have to go to pay these off? Very. In 2 years, and would it be possible to pay them off in less? You have no job. One thing at a time. Get a job. The baby steps are always the way to go, but they do require an income to make it happen. And you know, I don't know. Some people, I mean, you're worried about it enough to have anxiety over it, but not worried about it enough to have a job already, which you could do. You're just holding out for some kind of special job or something like that. And that's not how the world works. So I get it. Young and dumb, that happens. There's even old and dumb people. Some people even think I am. But I embrace the reality, and these are the steps, and you do them, and you have to have money. So get a freaking job. Unreal. So asking for strategies on paying off something, and they don't even have a job yet, that would seem like that would be something that would be self-evident, that, oh, first I need a job before I worry about any of this crap. See, that's the problem, because you're home sitting, not working, and so then you have time to think about dumb stuff like that. Legacy is all 3074. Advice on selling truck. Sell it. Hello, everyone. Hi, guys. I'll go ahead and get straight into my situation. Well, you didn't do that. You did the disclaimer first by explaining what you were going to do. Purchased a truck a year ago that I know I shouldn't have. Pride and ego? You just wanted it. I owe 40K. Calculator has it max 58 plus-ish. I don't care about the percentage rate. I'm more prepared to trade it in and use the cash to buy something outright. Good plan. I'll always advise. Also, I'm military and get a government vehicle soon that I can just take home. Just FYI. Thoughts? Thanks in advance. How long ago? A year ago. So you had it a year. So maybe you weren't getting a government vehicle soon at the time. And so, yeah. So it depends on how soon you can get it. Maybe you don't even need to buy a car at all at this time, as long as you can get where you're going before you get the government vehicle. And so you're welcome for that. That'll be our tax dollars paying for that for you to take home. Congratulations. You're welcome. Thank you for your service, though, obviously. But yeah, you sell that and you buy something. I mean, that is great, because selling the truck that you owe 40K on, that is a big deal in baby step 2. That will get you squared away. It doesn't say if that person has other debts, but normally a car, outside of student loans, normally a car is going to be the highest non-mortgage debt that anyone has, a vehicle. So, and definitely the trick. Oh, I got to get a trick. No, you don't. ACLCJC92, that's a lot of C's. Looking for life and financial advice. Have you come to the right place? How about that? Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. And if you wonder why I do that all the time, because every time I read the greeting, it reminds me of like the influencer kids. They're always like, hi, guys. And then they, jump into their stuff. Looking for life and financial advice. Hi, everyone. I've been trying to call into the show, but have had no luck getting through. It's a very popular TV show, and the numbers are higher on than ever on YouTube at the moment. So turning to Reddit and Facebook for advice. Okay. My wife and I are the only problem is Reddit and Facebook advice, not guaranteed to be the same advice that you would get on the show, but this, for me, will be. My wife and I are debt free. I'm 32. She is 37. I have a job where I make $230,000 per year, and she makes $60,000 for a household income of $290,000. Well, you might as well just give up, because nobody can relate to you. I'm kidding. people are so dumb. We have $80,000 saved up and are adding, you're doing it wrong if you have debt, adding about $7,500 per month to savings after living expenses and taxes are 50%. Okay. We currently rent a 2-bedroom condo in Vancouver, British Columbia, defect to America. There's taxes up there, no joke. $3,600 a month for a 2-bedroom condo. Yeah, maybe you got to move out of the couve. But got to notice that our landlord is selling at the end of September. Yep. All right, open in new tab. Is what we want to do. At that point, we would have about $130,000 in savings. Before asking me a question, I want to preface it by noting that my job security is extremely unstable. Okay, so normally the advice would be the same, even if you think your job is extremely unstable. But the only thing as far as the baby steps that you would do with an unstable job is if you have more, you have to have more than 50%. You have to have at least 51% of likelihood that you will lose that job. If you don't have that and you're just overstating it, then you don't pause the baby steps for general worry. Let's see. I work in the industry, forecasting, analysis, and media, where my job is dependent on my audience, and my audience attention is directly tied to performance of my predictions. It's competitive, and everyone always has always one bad year away from becoming far less valuable. I hear you. I'm looking for advice on the best options I see, and generally they don't even come close to the advice, and it's always they put 3 options, and Dave generally gives a 4th option that's better. But you know, so people by laying out the options doesn't just ask for the best path forward, which would be follow the baby steps, and no debt. Let's see, continue to rent, okay, where we are comfortable, live in an area we love and not be tied down to a home, save as much as possible for as long as we rent, invest $7,500 a month in mutual funds, if work holds steady until I'm 40 and wife is 40, we would live where we enjoy the country the most and have $1 million in investments at 6% return. You should be making 10% in your but I mean, if they're in a brokerage, obviously there's going to be, you know, capital gains on that. So maybe he's taken that out already. Otherwise, your investments aren't that good if you're only getting 6. Buy a condo in the area. Yep, you can do that. To put us around $5,200 a month at current rates at 25 years. I know Dave recommends the 15-year fix, but we can't afford it if we do that. So that means that's too much condo for you to buy then. That's how you tell that. It's not let's see, I honestly can't find one in Canada with lenders. Well, I mean, okay, so the $5,200 a month, what is the freaking, again, the 230 household income is $290. I'll just give them another $10,000 a year to make it easier for me. So that's $3,000 or $300,000, excuse me. So $300,000. So that's 2 is 6. So $750,000 is the amount of mortgage that you could have. So $900,000 is too much. So that's too much house, even with the extra $10,000 a month that I gave you. So $9,000 too much. So it doesn't matter what kind of mortgage you can find, having that much mortgage is too much. House poor. Move to another area, Saskatchewan. Reminds me of Canadian Idiot, sung by Weird Al. In all love, of course, for people in the Great White North. It's a parody of American Idiot by Green Day. And buy a detached house with a yard for $400,000. That is approved. So like I said, you can do $750,000. And so $4,000 is even better. Wife and I are not opposed to this. I have family there. We would have friends, but we would be back in winter for 6 months a year, which we moved here to avoid. Why? Is it too cold there? So again, see, the problem is people have little stipulations on their life where they're saying, well, we could move, but then we have to come back here. What's the reason for having to be back there? Why? So yeah, you wouldn't do that and then have to go back and rent in the area. So you would not do that. So if you cannot find, I mean, you got to move permanently and not go back there for 6 months would be the thing to do. And that's why your little 3 options here don't work. So, I mean, you know, maybe continue to rent there. That could be possible. So 1 is possible, but probably 4 is to get a condo in the area, in the spot we like. Get it in a spot you don't like as much. And if the spot is that bad, then you keep renting. And so that's how you make these decisions, not with all the, oh, we gotta be back in there at 6 months. I mean, I understand if it's that cold, but then you don't bother with going to Saskatchewan at all if it's only going to be for 6 months a year living. Everything I read around me pushes me towards buying a home, and that would be exciting. Yeah, I mean, everybody's telling you, oh, you know, real estate is great. It is, if you're not house poor, if you don't buy too much house. And it doesn't even say if, let's say, where is we are out of debt. I'm looking for that too. That would be necessary before buying a house. I'm not seeing that anywhere. Having something happen in a job and not being able to recreate the income would be a disaster. Exactly. That's why you don't buy a freaking house that's expensive. And if we buy and I lose this job, no way we can afford it. Yep. In British Columbia, Saskatchewan would be much more realistic. Yeah, but again, you got to give up going back to there in, you know, not the other 6 months of the year. You got to take that out of your life. The chance of that happening in the next 3 to 5 years, probably 15. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's worth the risk. No, it's not. Nothing is worth any risk as far as money. On the other hand, you know, obviously there's risk in the market, so, you know, that's not included in the saving for retirement. But like, worth the risk for you to do something that only applies to you and the way you're living your life and whether to buy too much house, then no, that's definitely not worth the risk. On the other hand, there's huge risk that comes with investment. Yeah, but you're going to do that anyway. But you don't need to be having it in just a brokerage account. It should be in a retirement account. Having 1 million investments at 40 with no debt is amazing. Okay, so 32, 37. Okay, so you got 8 years. So I'm assuming no debt. I'm just going to assume no debt, but it doesn't say. So I'm assuming no debt already, unless they're just left that out. Where, oh, we're going to pay that off too after we buy a house. And no, there's no, while you're are in debt, there's no buying a house. Because you don't even save the down payment until step 3B, and that means you also have your fully funded emergency fund as well of 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But I am the last person on earth to know where the market is going to be 10 to 15, 20 years from now. None of us know. So you don't have to feel bad on that. So I don't know what to do here. What's your take? I would get rid of this having to be in that expensive place for 6 months a year. I would get rid of that. Or again, you go to a spot that you don't like. That is, you can do $750,000. Again, I mean, you're gonna have to sell that house if you lose that job. Still, I mean, that's going to happen no matter what. But yeah, go in a spot you like less, that is, no, $200K less of a mortgage. And also how you do that is, And and your problem is you're trying to do all this around the fact that your landlord is selling the property in September, and so you're trying to match it up with that. That's got nothing to do with you. Now, if the new owner doesn't want to rent to you, then you have to move, but that doesn't mean you automatically, oh, I need to buy a house then if I have to move anyway. No, that's dumb. So do not do that. Jar Jar Awakens. All right, Star Wars reference there. Always appreciated. Parents, how do you know if you should do baby step 5 saving for college, given college isn't for everyone? Okay, well, I mean, you can get around that. You could save just a certain amount, like to just pay for 1 year and just make that a stipulation. You're going to college for a year. But the problem with that is they generally, unless they are young Sheldon, they don't go to college until they are 18. And at that point, they're adult, and you really can't make them do anything. But I mean, you can have that as a stipulation in order for them to live with you still and not have to move out. So you can look at it that way. Or you can just do a general, like a high yield savings account or just a brokerage account for them instead. Now that's not going to be tax advantaged like the college specific ones are. And now I think they're doing some, or I've already done it, where you could in the I can't remember if it's 529 or ESA or both, where if it's unused you can roll that to a Roth IRA. And so that could be an option, but you never know. I mean, they could, as easily as they give that, they could take it away. Government giveth, government taketh away. So if you wanted to be 100% sure, and also trade school would be considered. That would be considered school. I would make sure by the particular state plan, if you do an ESA, or I mean a 529 is the state plan, and the ESA. So check on those to make sure you can pay for trade school with that. Now, again, if you don't want to do anything as far as helping them with the trade school or college, and you just want to give them money to get started once they move out, then you could just do a standard brokerage account. You'll have to pay the capital gains taxes on it when you cash it out. Not everyone is going to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer. That's correct. Some children will not grow up to be disciplined enough to benefit from advanced education, certainly. Or they may want to do work that does not require a college education. Yep. How do you figure out what your children will end up doing regarding college? And you don't know. For a college fund makes it so you can't use it for anything, other things like retirement, investing, paying off your, or starting a business, right? So he's in baby step 5, or she. And so yeah, so you could just what I said. You could either make that a requirement, assuming that they're still going to be they have some reason to listen to you after they're an adult. Because you definitely don't want to save it up in one of those funds and them not go to trade school or college. So the way to get around this is you just put it in a regular brokerage account. And that way you can be sure that you can just give them the cash and it'll be over. South Orlando father, 7 steps for those age 15 to 24. I feel like for me, the 7 baby steps are designed for those already in debt. No, you just get to skip step 2 if you're not in debt. It's still the same stuff. People are so dumb. I don't know why would you assume that? Has anyone ever discussed the 7 baby steps for those ages 12 to 24? Okay, teenagers, yes. He made some of his own. So, okay, we'll read through them. We'll humor this person. the South Orlando father. We'll humor it, and I'll give my thoughts on it. But for teenagers, it's just pile up cash. You're not investing. You're not investing. You're not trying to buy a house as soon as you move out of parents' house. You're not trying to do any of that dumb stuff. I mean, it's good. All those are good things to do, but it's dumb to do them while you're a teenager. What you do is you pile up cash, and that way you have money to buy cars, and that way you have money so you get out of college debt free. And so you don't start doing the baby steps until you are out of college in your first big boy or big girl job. And so, and even if you don't do that, then you would use that cash again, buy cars, anything else you need, and of course money to move out, like deposits and so forth on apartments. You know, anything you can think of that is related to that. And then when they get a big boy, big girl job, then that's when you start the baby steps. And that's when, if you have no debt, and you have all that pile of money, then you already have step 3 done, and then you actually start the baby steps at step 4. Now, wouldn't that be fun? How many of us wish we did that? That's me. I wish I had that had happened for me, that I had been smart enough to do that. This is what I created for my boys who are currently 14 and 12. Okay, let's open her up in a new tab, not a new window. I did that. Step 1, save $3,000 for start emergency fund. No, it's $1,000 for anybody doing it. But no, they wouldn't do that. The Ramsey advice is for, now see, it can't be, it's because it's not 12 to 24. Because you wouldn't necessarily be in college till 24 unless you're going to be a doctor. Or, I mean, if you're cash flowing it, fine. It may take extra years, but that's fine. But not 12 to 24 is, so your premise there is bad because it encompasses 2 sections of life, and what we're looking for is pre-college and then college years, and it's still, while you're in college, it's still safe. And so 24 might be a little bit too long to stretch it, but whatever, that's the ages he picked. But it wouldn't be $3,000, it would be $1,000, and that's the same for you, for, you know, an adult, or anybody else. And so that's dumb to me. I don't know, you know, I mean, it's none of it's the Ramsey advice. Like I said, it's for kids. You just pile up cash, pay off all debt. They shouldn't have any, or if out of debt, why would they have any? No. See, you don't even need to put that in there, because age 12, they would not have debt. They would never take out debt either. And so that's bad too. So South Orlando father, you doing it wrong with your kids. Step 3, max out Roth IRA, $583 a month. Well, they have to be making that much before they can do that. You can't max it out with, at least start it with a certain dollar figure a month, but they have to have earned income of that amount. Save $30,000, fully funded. Yeah, I see, by that time you would have a job and you would see, so none of this is necessary. Find a hobby outside of drinking, partying that you enjoy doing. Okay. All right. I mean, that's fine for you to tell your kids whatever, but it's not, I mean, it's basically, I mean, to save $3,000, you're supposed to save whatever you can. You're just saving money. You're not investing it, and you don't take out debt, and then you don't have to do that. But there's no Roth IRA, and especially for the 12-year-old and 14-year-old, you have to be able to have income in order to do a Roth IRA. So that's a no for me, dog. But I mean, there's nothing terrible about it, except that's not the Ramsey advice for that. And you have some misconceptions about some things, sounds like. Oh, let's see. Asperger's are us, a frequent poster on here. And normally, I believe the Asperger's diagnosis is correct. Let's put it that way. I feel like for me, with inflation. And the reason I do that every time people say I feel like, which is, millennials and lower, the I feel like has replaced I think, which is what you're actually doing. It's not a feeling, it's a thought. But anyway, I feel. Oh, but anyway, all the reality shows are where they're just talking and telling you why they made certain decisions and stuff like that, and then they always say, "I feel like for me," and then say whatever other stuff. I feel like with inflation, you need a minimum of $30K in savings nowadays in case of emergencies in lieu of the 3 to 6 months emergencies they say to have. Do you agree? No, I say do 3 to 6 months of expenses, of your personal expenses. Because even if it's 3 months, that will take care of you for 3 months. And by that time, if it's just inflation that you're dealing with, then you can adjust your budget, or you can work more if you need to keep up with inflation. I used to think 20K was enough, but it doesn't matter because it's not based on a dollar amount. Nowadays, if the furnace goes, roof leaks, or you need a new... Yeah, well, you need to have 6 months of emergency fund if you have a house. That's not a Dave rule specifically. That is my advice because you have so many more things in your life that can go wrong. Furnace goes, roof leaks, you can't call the landlord and have them fix it. You have to fix that. And so, yes, that's why you should have a 6-month emergency fund. And generally, I would think that would be $30,000. So I don't agree with your premise on it, but it should be a 6-month emergency fund. And theoretically, that would be at least $30,000. I'm unsure how people do it with families and only have 20K or less because they just don't think about it the way you do, Mr. Asperger's. In order to covering these, what are your opinions? I already gave it. So, and again, see, like I said, if they have the 6-month emergency fund, that's already going to be $30,000 most likely or more. So that's already covered. And so all of Asperger's or Us 87 is thinking for no reason because it's already taken care of in the Ramsey advice. Motang I understand overthinking. I do it myself, but I don't overthink the baby steps. Fortunately. Motang, official debt free. All right. As of this morning, my wife and I are in baby step 3. Excellent. We hustled and finished off our last consumer debt loan 3 months early. Been at it since late August, early September 21. I didn't mean to do that, but that's right. Still sinking in. Edit some details. A few years ago, we were up to eyeballs in debt. New house, new car, toddler, and daycare. With bigger house, everything doubling it. And daycare costs so high, we had taken out personal loans, put stuff on the credit card, store card, even also had a 401k loan. So all the kinds of stupid, they did it. Very normal. All totaling to around 140K. Started listening to Dave Ramsey in 2021. That got me thinking, hey, maybe this debt stuff is dumb. I added that part. After talking it over with my wife, we came to the conclusion that we need to change things. And that is the best way to do while I pause in the middle of this post. That is the best way to do it. After talking it over with my wife, we came to a conclusion that we needed to change things, and that's the best thing to do instead of go home, hear Dave on the radio or somewhere else on YouTube or something like that, and then go home and talk to the wife and say, "Hey, I found this guy in Tennessee on the radio or on the internet, and he has great ideas about money, and this is what we're gonna do." That's not the way to approach it. Talking it over. You can say, yes, I found a guy, but, you need to not be so gung-ho and be like, this is what we're going to do. Or like one previous post was like, what was it? It was my wife's not on board, but I'm going to have her do blah, 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 blah. So, like that. So that sounds like trouble to me as well. Sold the new car towards the end of 2021, which paid off the car loan, right? And with what was left, was able to pay off one of the smaller loans. I freed up cash to snowball into the next smallest. That's how it goes. Just stayed intense. That's what you're supposed to do through the end of step 3. Through thick of things. Even had a water heater break and had to not only use 1K emergency fund, but also take another loan out. And that would be a mistake, though. They're past that now since they're completely debt free. But that would be a mistake. You would find another way to do that. Also started a new job last year. It was 30% more than I was making. That can definitely help. Edit to both of us 44. And when we started Journey Combined, we made 144,000. As toward the end, after our change job, our combined is 166,000. Okay, all of that's great, except taking out the loan for the new water heater. You figure out how to do it without taking out debt. Step 0 is where you decide debt is off the table. We're not doing that. We're finding another way. My man, Fuzzy Slippers, question for homeowners. How much do you set aside per month or year to account for home costs, repairs, upkeep? This is in addition to 6 months emergency fund. Well, you wouldn't do that for necessary repairs because you don't know what's coming. But if for like things that are going to be like for the upkeep and stuff, you can do a sinking fund for that. Like if you're paying for lawn service or anything like that, you can do a sinking fund for that, which basically is a savings account for that specific reason. But as far as home costs and stuff, that's not the idea. Is so you don't have $10,000 sitting around in that account and then you see something that you don't need that is for the house and just buy it out of it. That would be the idea not to do. You would, you could like start doing that theoretically in baby step 7, but you wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff during baby steps 1 through 6. Definitely. But like I said, you can have the sinking fund, but that has to be for known costs. If it's an emergency repair, that can come out of the emergency fund. If it is and this is the example I like to give because some people do jump to this. There have been many calls on the Ramsey show about this, repairs. So like say for example, you got a leak in the bathroom. Some people use that leak to do a whole bathroom remodel, and that's not necessary. You can just fix the leak instead. And then do the remodel after you're in baby step 7. Again, so that's the problem with putting more aside and having a general house sinking fund, because that way you're more likely to spend on stuff you don't need while you still have baby steps to be done. Obviously, you can budget any things that you don't need for the house, like, oh, we need new lawn furniture. You can put that in your budget, sure. But don't put that in savings and have that just laying around, because that is going to make the average person spend more money than they normally would. And so that's why you don't do that. Crikey, no name. Emergency fund in retirement. Does 3 to 6 month emergency fund rule apply when you're retired and receiving money from your retirement accounts? Yes. You can still have emergency even if you are receiving that money. The emergency wouldn't be like that you don't get income, because you would from the retirement accounts, but you could have other emergencies. So yeah, that emergency fund, baby step 1, baby step 3, that stays there forever. Hopefully you never have to use it. And the only thing it gets used for is that it's left to somebody else when you die. Hope, that's the hope. But if you do have emergencies, that's when you would use it, and then you build it back up. JE_RU 13 on the phone line for the show, but here's my question, okay? That's wise to post here if you want to feedback on it, or you could post it in the Ramsey Show chat, and we will be happy to answer your question, because it is hard to get through. I'm waiting. Line says stay on, but they may not get to my call, right? So while waiting, I want to ask my question here. You can do that. My brother loves Dave Ramsey. Dave is pretty cool. I do too, but I'm not having fully time to fully know all his rules and financial tips. Well, maybe your brother does, and you could ask him. That is because of a chronic illness that takes a lot of my time, and that's where my question comes in. Where can I start as a young disabled person in America on learning all the different investing and financial tips without having any debt or money? 27-year-old female. I've tried work. Okay, so the problem is doing the advice takes income. And so you do have to be able to work. So find out what work you can do with your disability. And so, and with disabled people, they get into a situation where they get government assistance, but then they're also limited on what they can make outside of that. And so that could theoretically make you get less money that way than you can by getting the assistance plus what you can make. You could possibly out earn that. And so that's the trap that you get in. You say, oh, well, to get the free money, I have to make less money overall. And so that would not be, the idea would be to make as much money as you can. And so again, you do have to have an income to make these steps work. You can't do any of this without doing that. And that's what you have to come to grips with first, before even understanding about all the different investing and financial tips. I mean, it's just the baby steps is what you got to do. And then if you have any questions off of the individual baby steps, then you can ask those specific questions either in here or in the Ramsey Show chat. A bunch of us are in there like all through the day as soon as it's posted. It was late on Friday for some reason, some kind of technical difficulty, I'm assuming. But normally the mod posts it early in the morning. And so there's several of us in there. So every once in a while you get a time where there won't be anybody chatting for an hour or so. But most times there's somebody there. And if you post, then somebody will answer it. And normally, if it's one of us that are in there that early, then it's probably not a troll and probably would give you the Dave answer for it. So that's for everybody, not just this person here. So come talk to us in the Ramsey Show chat. We can start young disabled person in America. So, I mean, you would want to see what the kind of programs, other than just giving you money, see what kind of programs they could have to train you to do a certain type of work or anything like that. You would check into that. But as far as learning all the different investing and financial tips, you have to, you can just watch the show. You can read Total Money Makeover, Dave's book. But you're going to be limited if you can't work and you're only living off of disability from the government, because often that's not going to be enough. Hopefully you have no debt. If you have debt, that's going to make it even more difficult. All right. Electronic juice. Yes. That is the way my daughter used to say that. Juice. Instead of juice. Suggestions. 55 years old. Me too. Married. Not me. 2 kids. Me too. Primary resident. Not living with me. They're both adults. Primary residence. Value $650K. No mortgage. Excellent. Beach condo. Value $330K. Oh, $230. So sell the beach condo if there's a problem. Already selling it. Checking the savings, $220K. And you could throw that. I mean, if that includes the emergency fund, obviously you would keep the emergency fund, but could you throw that on that if you want to keep that beach condo? $1,100,000 in investments. You could also liquidate that if that's not in a retirement account and be debt free, which would be the Ramsey advice. $2,500,000 in restricted stock units is what RSU stand for, which is taxable income. Yep. Own 2 cars, no payments. Cars are 9 and 13 years old. Future expenses, $300K for college for the next 4 years. Okay. Hoping to retire at 67. I will also receive a small pension of $800. How am I doing? Any suggestions? You would liquidate any non-retirement investing and be debt-free immediately, and then you can invest more than the 15%. And so, like on a toy, see, okay, so if you have the primary residence, you're not allowed to get a mortgage on a secondary residence, because the secondary residence, a beach condo, that is a toy, and for toys, we pay cash even in step 7. So that would be the problem with that. So just liquidate that, move that on over. You can use some of your checking and savings that is not your emergency fund. You can use some of that. But other than that, you just, I mean, it's not even 70, I mean, it's not even 25% of what you have in investing. Or right about that. So you only have to liquidate 25% of this investing. And the restricted stock units, you could just sell those as well. And yes, it's taxable income if you sell those, certainly, but you pay the tax on it. Same thing, you'll have to pay tax on gains if you take out the investments as well, on the capital gains, for sure. So let's see, how much they say in boom, boom. So get debt free immediately. That way you don't have any money being sucked out on debt. So then you're only paying expenses. So yeah, and if that's retirement, you wouldn't do that. But the restricted stock units are not. And so you would definitely have enough in that. So he definitely has money that he could take from to be completely debt free today. And that is the advice. Boom, boom, boom. I'll also see a small pension, about $800 a month. How am I doing? You need to be, I mean, I guess the investments are fine, but you need to, like, be doing a, where is there income listed? No income listed. So you need more than I would be doing investing in a retirement account. If you make too much money, which could possibly be the case, then you can do a backdoor Roth or just up the investing in this investment account. But first you would get debt free. And see, what we do all the time, even in your situation, is follow the baby steps in order. Always. Just like the force will be with you always, the baby steps will be with you always, no matter who you are. Whether you think they're the right thing for you or not, because they are. 7019212225. What jobs, careers fit my Get Clear assessment results? I have no idea, sir. I don't know anything about that. I've never even taken that, so I do not know. Inspection, execution, and logic. Those sound fun. I would think, though, top 3 passions: protecting, analyzing, and researching. I would think something like, some kind of like data analysis, I would think. Finally, mission result is creation, and you, by analyzing data, you create processes. You create processes and functions and such. And plans and stuff. So yeah, that would be my guess on there. Again, not an expert on that. Deleted. The comments must have got too hot or something, or they got in trouble on some other kind of subreddit. I'm 23, engineering associates. I'm 23 and about to finish an associate's degree in engineering science from a community college. Okay, $60K in student debt already. Yeah, because I dropped out of a $50K school. Changed me degree. It's a pirate or an Englishman, and went to community college. Now I make 24 an hour, as a mechanical drafter working at a sheet metal manufacturing company. Is there any good jobs I can get with only a not with that grammar? It's are there any good jobs? Hashtag third grade, even in community college, you would think would know that. Are there any good jobs I can get with only an associate's degree in engineering? A lot of times, in a lot of fields, it's going to be a no. I don't know about engineering. A lot of them, they won't even talk to you with an associate's degree. So you have to find out for that particular field, and I do not know. Sorry. View account 124. How much mortgage can I afford? From what I remember, your mortgage should be no more than 25% of your take home, and you're supposed to do a 15-year fix. You have it down. Absolutely. So I wonder if something's coming here that will say, well, we don't want to be limited to that. Our take home is $5,600 a month. I feel like for me, this is pretty dang good. But based on this, I shouldn't go over 1,300. Yeah, that's right. Right, 13 is 26 and 26. These 52. That's a little bit more than that, I think. Yeah, because 13, that's 26 and that's 52. That only is 5,200 times 4. So it's times 4. So you can do, actually, let's see, is 14 going to be too much? 14, that's 28. 28 is 1,400. Is exactly 25% of the 56 per month. I'm struggling to understand how it's possible to buy a house. All of the debt is paid off. What am I missing? The problem is you're looking at houses that are more than you can afford. So, yeah. So how much mortgage you can afford, you know what the payment is. You know that already, except you're off by $100. You did math wrong. So what you're missing is you're just considering, oh, well, this advice should work for any income in any high cost of living area. And no, it doesn't. You have to have a high cost of living salary, income, in order to live, in order to buy a house in a high cost of living area, and sometimes you don't. So, I mean, $5,600 a month is nothing to sneeze at. I feel like for you, it's pretty darn good as well, but you just can't buy a house that is more than that. And so if I knew, well, let's see. So what would that be? Like $6,000 a month, maybe? Gross? Maybe a little bit more than that. So $6,000 a month. Well, we'll just use this. So this should be, let me use the old calculator here. Once you run your mouth for 2 hours, it's difficult to do math. What do we say? We'll just use the take home. 56, which is probably more accurate anyway. 56,000. Nope. 5,600. Darn it. Times. I'm doing on a calculator, on the Windows calculator. Shout out Microsoft. 5,600 times 12 months in a year equals 67,200 per year. Okay, and so that's not a lot in a very high cost of living area. So then times 2.5, that will give you a rough idea of the mortgage amount. Whoops. Times 2.5. $168,000. So yeah, you're probably looking at houses that are over $200,000, and you can't do that. So what you're missing is you're thinking you should be able to buy an over $200,000 house, and you can't because you don't make enough money or have that much mortgage. You can always buy an over $200,000 house, but you have to have enough down payment that it takes the amount. So that's what you're missing. All right, so glad we figured it out. And next time we'll learn, Dave explains why you should stop saving for retirement in baby step 2. I wouldn't click on that as a YouTube video, and so definitely check that out. Explain perfectly why you should stop all retirement contributions, even for that match, while paying off debt. So true. There you go. So that's good for all the people to answer. And I'm sure people didn't even listen to that, and they clicked on comment and they say, no, you should never do that, even without listening to it. I'm sure they did. All right, so you can get involved in all that on the in this discussion thread here if you'd like. All righty. So closing plugs. Tomorrow, right back here. May not do 2 hours tomorrow like I did today, but it has been a while since I've done a 2-hour show, so I did want to do one today. And so plugs again. That would be youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and you just have to scroll down on the page and you'll find the financial advice playlists on there, including the music playlist, which again has about 9 Ramsey adjacent songs on there. I have upcoming streams is, of course, this show, answering your financial questions, Saturday and Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That includes tomorrow. And the Ramsey show, we got 4 dates coming up for that, and that starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on those days. That's Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day, and Thursday, May 30th. So 2 that same week, and also the same week, Wednesday, June 19th, and a rare Friday off. I wonder what song I'll sing there. June 21st. And so those again, approximately 6 p.m. It's normally about 6:05 or something like that. When the Ramsey show video is over, then that's when I start the after show. That's why it's called an after show. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. This video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere. You can email me about coaching or anything else on your mind at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Anything on my YouTube channel. If you have a short question, you can just send it to me and I will email you back with the answer. Donations, go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, can be the Cash App. It's $Coach Steve Money on the Cash App, or a Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. And again, the YouTube channel, youtube.com/coachstevemoney. Also on Instagram, I don't post much on there, but I am on there. Maybe I'll start doing that more. I probably should. And that's instagram.com/coachstevemoney, or #coachstevemoney. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.